The champagne glass shook faintly in my hand, its golden fizz catching the chandelier's light like glittering secrets in disguise. I stood apart at the edge of our anniversary celebration. Laughter swirled through the air, glasses clinked, joy surrounded me. But inside, I felt hollow, as though my heart had been carved out and left bleeding on the polished floor. 18 years with Laura, and tonight, the way her smile was aimed at him across the room cut deeper than any blade ever could. I watched her tilt her head, auburn curls brushing her bare shoulder as she laughed at something Mark whispered. His hand lingered on her arm a second too long. My stomach twisted, not from jealousy, but from the heavy dread of suspicion that had been building for months. I forced a grin, raising my glass to a passing guest, though my eyes never left them. The clues had been there, hadn't they? The endless late nights at the office, her phone angled away whenever I was near, that sudden perfume she wore, sharp and unfamiliar, like the sting of betrayal. I'd brushed it all aside, convinced myself I was imagining things. That love had blinded me to logic. But now, as Mark's fingers grazed her wrist again, I couldn't unsee the truth. My throat tightened. I swallowed a sip of champagne, trying to steady myself. It tasted bitter. Or maybe that was just my heart. "James, are you all right?" Her voice jolted me back. Laura stood beside me now, green eyes searching my face, her smile a mask I no longer trusted. Her hand rested on my arm, warm yet foreign, as if it no longer belonged to me. "Fine," I said evenly, holding back the storm inside, just taking it all in. 18 years, huh? Her laugh was soft, but her eyes didn't match it. "Feels like forever, doesn't it?" She lifted her glass, the one she had poured for me earlier, insisting I try her special mix. The liquid shimmered, and unease crept up my spine. Something wasn't right. Her insistence, the way she watched me, waiting. "To us," she said, clinking her glass against mine, her gaze steady and expectant, almost daring me. I hesitated. The weight of her stare pressed against my chest. The room tilted slightly, voices fading to a dull hum. Across the way, Mark leaned against the bar, his eyes flickering toward us. My pulse hammered. "To us," I echoed, but I didn't drink. Instead, I set my glass down and casually reached for hers. "Let's switch," I said lightly, though my heart pounded. "Yours looks better." Her smile faltered for just an instant, but it was enough. A crack in her mask. A flicker of panic. "Oh, no! Mine's nothing special," she said too quickly, reaching for it. But I had already lifted it to my lips. "Cheers," I whispered and drank deeply. Her eyes went wide, her breath caught, and in that moment I knew the champagne burned down my throat, not with alcohol, but with something else. Something wrong. My vision blurred, cold sweat dampened my skin. She had done it. She had spiked my drink. "James!" Her voice sharpened, fear bleeding into it. She clutched my arm, nails digging in. "Are you okay?" I stumbled, the room swaying, but my mind stayed sharp. I hadn't touched my glass. I'd swapped them. Whatever she had slipped into mine was now running through her veins. The realization slammed into me. I gripped the table, not from weakness, but from the weight of what I had just set in motion. "Laura," I said, voice low, trembling with rage and heartbreak. "What did you do?" Her face drained, lips parting, but no words came. The party carried on around us, oblivious, the jazz band's notes mocking our collapse. I leaned close, whispering, "What was in my glass?" She shook her head, tears brimming. "James, I didn't—" "Don't lie to me." My voice cracked louder than I meant, drawing a few stairs. I lowered it, stepping closer, my breath hot against her cheek. "You've been lying for months with him." I jerked my head toward Mark, who now watched, his posture rigid. Laura's hands flew to her mouth, her eyes darting to the glass in my grip. "No, James, you don't understand." "Then explain." I hissed, my chest split between love and betrayal, between the woman I vowed to cherish and the stranger standing before me. "Explain the late nights, the way you recoil when I touch you, Why you thought you could poison me on our anniversary. Her knees buckled, and she sank into a chair, trembling. The air grew heavy, thick with roses and deceit. I didn't mean, she stammered, clutching her stomach, pain contorting her face. Whatever she'd slipped into the drink was taking hold fast. I dropped to my knees beside her, my anger warring with panic. What was it, Laura? Tell me now. My voice cracked, and I hated how much I still cared. It was just a sedative, she gasped, tears streaming, to make you sleep, so I could leave with him. Her eyes darted toward Mark. The confession landed like a blow to the chest. Leave, I whispered, broken. After 18 years? I'm sorry, she sobbed, shaking. I didn't want to hurt you. I don't love you anymore. The words shredded me. Each syllable was glass in my veins. I stood, unsteady, staring at her, at the woman I had laughed with, fought with, built a life with. She was gone. In her place sat a stranger who had planned to drug me and vanish with another man. Mark stepped forward, pale, hands raised. James, let's talk. Stay away, I growled, fist tightening. The room spun, not from poison, but from betrayal's weight. I turned back to Laura, clutching the table, her breath shallow. The sedative was strong, too strong. A chilling fear hit me. What if it wasn't just a sedative? What if she had miscalculated? I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking as I dialed 911. My wife, she's been poisoned. I said hollow. I didn't mention the switch. Not yet. The paramedics came. The party dissolved into chaos. Guests whispered, stared. Laura was carried out, her eyes locked on mine, pleading, and I felt everything. Rage, grief, love, guilt, all at once, choking me. At the hospital, I sat alone in the waiting room, antiseptic burning my nose. She would survive, they said, a mild sedative, not lethal, but enough to put her under. I stared at my hands, the hands that had swapped the glasses. I wondered who I had become. I'd wanted her to face the betrayal, to taste the consequence of her lies. But as the adrenaline drained, all that remained was the wreckage of our marriage, and the truth I couldn't escape. I had crossed a line I could never uncross. The doctor appeared, his face grave. She's asking for you, he said. I rose, my heart heavy. Every step toward her room felt like judgment, and I realized with a clarity that chilled me, the real revenge wasn't a switch at all.